I lost my template for my Evan here, so I am going to trace him a new template so that I can attempt to make him another pair of jeans, because this pair of jeans was the first pair I'd ever tried to make, and they are not fitting him the way that they should. I'm going to trace out his legs and try to make another template. So this is where I am now, where I traced that. I'm going to create the flap that we're going to use to join the seams together. I'm not going to make a front or back closure or opening. It's a stretchy enough material where I'm just going to make it to where it's not doing that. Down here, because I'm not going to use this half, I'm going to use this half and I'm going to reverse the image after I cut it out. So I want from here about a half inch to an inch, I would say about an inch. Not quite an inch, maybe a quarter inch. I don't know. Use your best judgment. I'm going to make it a relaxed fit as opposed to, a skinny jean. So I want to make it so that it's straight as opposed to really following his leg. So there's where that's going to go. I'm going to go all the way over here, and I'm going to bring that line as straight as I can about up here, because I want it to be on the straight side. And I'm just going to kind of bring it up, and these will be where I join things together. So basically, I'm going to cut out this area. And I'll show you what that looks like next. I decided to, instead of notching this out, because this is his inseam right here, I decided to attach the inseam just a little bit more up into there. I'm going to use this as the seam for the inside, and this part up here as the seam to bind the two together. So I'll show you how I draw it out on the jeans. I took the piece that had the inseam, and what I did was, when I was tracing it on one side, I just allowed just a smidge more, just in case I don't have enough seam allowance. So I just did a little bit more, and then what I did was I flipped it this way, and I pushed them up against each other, and I traced the opposite. So I traced the mirror image, and I did the same thing on this side, where I just added a little bit more just in case I don't have enough material to pinch together. And then I flipped it over, and I mirrored it this way on the lesser part. So hopefully this will work, but we'll find out. Here is how the pants look cut out. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be one side, this is going to be the other side, and then I'm going to sandwich them in. I'm going to attach this part, and then we'll have a front side and a back side. Actually, take that back, hold on. Now that I'm looking at it, that looks more like that, so maybe I'll make this part one side and this part the other side. Alright, so I'm going to do it that way. So see why I do a double check. So here we go. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a plan for where that's gonna go, or roundabout, and I'm gonna sew it together using this thread. Do I know what brand it is? Nope. I sewed from here, I sewed up just to like about this point, and I sewed it back down, and then I did a knot, and then I did another triple knot just because I want to make sure it's super secure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this excess fabric from right here, and then I'm going to repeat on this piece, and that's it. I cut just a little bit just to clean up that line. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to begin here. Now because this is such a thick yarn, or a thick string, I don't have to loop back through it, which is good. So I'm just going straight up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the opposite way. So just kind of finding just about where I was. I'm kind of going back through it. Oop, there it goes. I'm trying to keep that line as straight as possible because I want that seam to be nice and closed from the other side. There it goes. Okay. I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to hold this string on this side. I'm going to come back up into here, and I'm going to kind of wrap around it. I'm going to pull. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to knot it. Now, it's not the right way to do it the way I just did it, but it's the way of doing it. Okay. And one more for luck. Third time's the charm. Okay. So then I'm going to cut as close as I can to that, and I'm going to be very careful not to cut my fingers, just kind of cleaning up the edge. So as you could see on this, it's a nice line. On this, it's a nice line. And so next we're ready to attach front to back. So I'm gonna attach the outer seam here, and I'm going to attach the outer seam here. So all along here and all along here I'm going to sew. Folded the top part down 2 folds, and I started the sew in the middle because these were detached, so I attached them by sewing them together, obviously. So I sewed that way, and then I stopped, but I only sewed, on this part right here. Then I sewed this way, and I stopped. Then I flipped them over, and I sewed that way, and I sewed that way to attach them all together. So that was so that when we turn them right side out, it'll just show the little stitch. I did the inseam. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna fold once, I'm gonna fold twice, and I'm gonna sew that piece, just like how I did up here. So, don't know if you could see that, hopefully you can. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to get that in there. Now this is a thicker yarn, or a thicker string or thread, so that's why I don't have to go back through the knot to attach the, you know, like I don't have to go through this thing, it just stays. So, works out good. Happy accident. Didn't plan for that. Probably bought that yarn or this string like 5 or 6 years ago, who knows. Not entirely sure when I bought it, or where I bought it, or anything about it. So now that I have this, I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna make 1, 2 folds, and I'm gonna go up through here. I'm gonna attach them. Oops, that almost didn't work. Okay, and I'm gonna go through just like so. Oops. Oopsie daisy. There we go. And that's how it's going. Oops. Okay. So I'm almost to the end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through both of them, like so. And then I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to go back through again. So I'm trying to attach the 2 sides. And voila! So I took this to this so that he has an opening, and I folded it up twice, and I attached them, and I made it so that it's like that, you know, it's attached at both sides. So he has a little opening to put his foot in. And this is just how I do it. It's not necessarily the right way, but it's the way that I'm comfortable with. It's the way that I do it. And maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. I honestly don't know. But if it does, I'm very happy that it does. So, took that. I'm going to cut it just a smidge more so that it doesn't peek through when he puts his feet through. Just a little. Okay. Cool. So now I'm going to do that same thing on this side. Now is the moment of truth. I sewed up the bottom part, the top part, the crotch area. Hopefully they all went together nicely. So now I'm going to turn them inside out very carefully. So the way that there is a way of doing this with the, what's it called? Like one of these things. But, you know, where you pin it and then you pull it through, but I'm just going to do it this way. Because not everyone has one of those, and this is how I do it. I just kind of pull a little, and I pull a little, I pull a little more, and I pull a little more, and then I kind of tug the bottom and pull a little more, and pull a little more, and I tug the bottom. You know, just little bits. It's tedious, but it doesn't take very long, which is why I'm filming to show you that it really doesn't. It doesn't take long at all to do this. Just a little bit of patience, and you know, and you could do it. There we go. Pull. And pull a little more. It's gonna go. Going. There we go. Almost to the end. We're getting close. Pull and another pull. There we go. We're at the end. So, this is what the bottom looks like. Oh. Gotta snip that a little bit, just a tiny bit. There we go. Doesn't need to be perfect, but that's what we got. So now, with these jeans, you can either have them dark in the front, or you can have them light in the front. Either way. So I think I'm gonna pick the dark in the front. I'm going to put Ken into these. Really quick, before I show you the new pants, I wanted to show you the old pants and how I didn't finish the seam at the bottom and I didn't finish at the top. And it's because I really didn't know what I was doing. And see, that was the issue that I was having, where it would just kind of fall below and it just didn't have, there wasn't enough room, so hopefully those will fit better. But I just wanted to show you on him what's going on. I'm probably gonna fix those by doing the seam at the top. I'll probably leave the bottom, but make it so that when he's sitting, his little bum isn't coming out, and, you know, give him a little bit more comfort up at the top. So hold on for a second and I'll show you him in his new jeans. So this is the old. Alright, this is Ken's new set of jeans. They fit him a little better. However, I didn't give enough seam allowance for the back. I didn't account for his rear end, so that was bad on me. But all in all, it fits better, but a little too tight, so I may, if I make these again, I'll probably give a little bit more seam allowance, because they're kind of more like a skinny jean, but they fit him, they fit him well, and I'm pretty happy with it. I hope this helps whoever's out there looking to make Ken some jeans.